Do you like status effect builds? If not, too bad, because here's my 4-dot build that combines bleeds, burns, biomass talent, toxic delivery, and finally pestilence talent plague at the outcast, combining 2 awesome debuffs alongside 2 crowd control damaging status effects.
I dare you! Call the pestilence a status effect one more time!
I didn't? Either way, this season I'm leaning into the global buffs to amplify the damage we're going to do with our first dot to plague out the outcast from the pestilence.
The pestilence does not identify as a status effect!
Yeah, I know.
Pestilence does not identify as burn bleed, you skinny bitch!
Oh, okay. Thanks. Still never claimed that it did. Well, our second dot is going to be the biomass talent toxic delivery, which is a debuff similar to the pestilence plague of the outcast talent.
It's not a status effect! Let me speak to your manager before I eat you!
Okay. I don't have a manager. What's Gorlok the Destroyer even talking about? Alright, moving on. Our third and fourth dot is going to be burns and bleeds. And with all 4 of the dots combined, this is how we're going to unleash massive AoE damage while also providing constant crowd control to dominate heroic and blow content. Well, quickly, come here. So Dags, let us know what your favorite status effect is.
I told you it's not a status effect! Ah! I'm gonna eat your cheeks like an all-you-can-eat buffet!
Did I just respawn again?
What's going on, Dags? If you're new to the channel, welcome to Endgame Gaming. I'm your host, Nox. One of my favorite things to do is respawn, and it's not because I'm good. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro, and if you haven't guessed what this video is going to be about, it's going to be about one of my favorite builds, a 4-dot build where I combine status effects with debuffs. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to the community for helping support my channel. As you all know, I am new to the whole content creation. I recently just hit 6,000 subscribers and over 2 million views. Thank you everybody for supporting, and you guys are all very special for watching my content, and at least 2% of you guys are the special content that's not slow. I've been taking some me time, so that's why I haven't posted anything in like 10-12 days or something like that, but I am feeling refreshed. And with that being said, make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Similar to the Gaming Brigade's community, Sergeant Graveyard said it best: take care of yourselves, listen to your body, be kind to each other. You never know what kind of struggles people are going through. The struggles that people are going through are not always visibly seen, so don't be an asshole. And if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. There's constructive criticism, which I do welcome and don't mind, but there's also people being trolls and just being assholes. And you fall in that category, you're pretty much a kid, because what grown adult will go out of their way to troll other adults or kids? I don't know. But either way, let's get right back to the video. So I made this chart right here, kind of going over the different dots and how they interact with each other. We have the 2 debuffs, which is going to be the pestilence plague of the outcast and the vile toxic delivery. They are both debuffs, but the vile mass debuffs interacts a little bit differently than the plague of the outcast debuff. I'll get into that during the build breakdown. And then to complement those 2 debuff dots, we're going to have actual status effects that are going to apply dots as well, with the burns and the bleeds. And this season I'm actually using the riot foam. While it's not a dot, it's going to offer a lot of crowd control, and just keep in mind you can set up this loadout however you want. Last season I ran it with all skill tiers, and I was mainly focusing on the sticky burn or the fire starter to do all the damage, with the plague of the outcast kind of supplementing the damage to those status effects. But for this season I've been enjoying going more of the weapon core route, and thanks to the passive modifiers and active modifiers, we have easy sources for the burns and bleeds. We have sanitation that's pretty much going to give us more damage to the pestilence and the plague of the outcast ticks, but it's also going to provide us with a burn pretty much. And every time we light somebody on fire with the burn, Eclipse Protocol is going to spread it. And every time we take out an enemy that's under burn status effect, it's actually going to give us more duration to our sanitation active modifier. So we could get that active modifier to last a really, really long time. And then for the passive modifiers, there's a couple of them that actually give you bleeds, which is really neat, because now we have the Stinger Hive giving us the bleeds plus the passive modifiers. Now let's go over the different debuffs and the status effects and how they interact with each other in this loadout. What's going to boost the damage of the pestilence debuff? There's going to be the glass cannon. We're going to have the weapon damage. Then we're going to have the Eclipse Protocol backpack talent symptom aggravator, giving us additional amp damage. And remember, the plague of the outcast is not a status effect, it is a debuff. Next, for the vile mass, is going to boost the damage with glass cannon. We got status effect attributes. We got the grenade damage. We got system aggravator as well. And also toxic delivery is not a status effect, but it will be triggered by applying any status effect. So if you, whenever we apply a burn, bleed, foam, shock, whatever have you, that's going to trigger the vial mass toxic delivery. Moving on to the next two dots, we're going to have the bleeds and the burns. These are going to get boosted by glass cannon, status effect attribute. We got system aggravator as well. And with these status effects, not only are they going to do damage with the dots, they're also going to provide crowd controls. When you light an enemy on fire, even if they're like behind cover, they're going to stand up and flail their arms in the air, and they're not going to really be shooting at you. And for the bleeds, it's going to prevent the enemies from sprinting. They're still going to be able to move around. They just shouldn't be sprinting. And thanks to the Eclipse Protocol, all status effects are going to spread whenever an enemy dies, thanks to the indirect transmission. And all the status effects are going to trigger the amplified damage from system aggravator from the Eclipse Protocol backpack talent. And also all the status effects are going to trigger the vial mass toxic delivery debuff. And the same with the bleeds and burns. Any other status effect that you might apply is going to have the same triggers, damage boost, and what have you. So that's pretty much how all the dots work with each other with the Eclipse Protocol. This loadout is really easy to run, but understanding it is a little bit more complex. I can't wait for all the comments saying that the Plague of the Outcast is not a status effect. That intro must have gone right over your heads. And this is definitely one of my more favorite fun builds to play. You do a lot of damage, a lot of crowd control, super easy to run. All you have to do is shoot your gun and not get shot. You could play this solo, you could play it in a group, you can mix and match the skills, you can mix and match the cores, you could do more yellows, more blues, more reds, it doesn't really matter. You could play this loadout in legendary content. Just know that status effects aren't that great in legendary content, but you can definitely get away with it just because we do have more red cores, so we are going to do damage with the Plague of the Outcast, and the crowd controls is going to be nice as well. And you could also run like the Jammer Pulse or something to deal with all the Warhounds and stuff like that. And for legendary content, I would stick to like District Union Arena and Capitol Building, and I would avoid playing the Zoo, Roosevelt Island, and Tidal Basin where the enemies are more spread out. And then for heroic and below content, this build is going to destroy. It's just, you're going to do so much damage, so much crowd control. Each individual dot is not going to be that great, but when you combine all the dots, even just 2 or 3 of them, you're going to be decimating the field. And I've been playing my 4-dot loadouts for multiple seasons now, and I can tell you this build doesn't disappoint. So let me know if this is something you guys would play. But either way, I think that's about it for my 2 cents. Let's get right into the build breakdown.
I told you it's not a status effect!
For this loadout, we are going with the gunner specialization. And of course, we have the Pestilence, and it has the talent Plague of the Outcast, and this is a debuff, and the Plague of the Outcast talent will not benefit from any status effect attributes. I repeat, it will not benefit because this is a debuff, and this is going to be the first of 4 dots in our loadout. Secondary, I have the Everlasting Gaze because it comes with perfect perpetuation, and then the sidearm could be whatever you want. And for the second dot, we have the Vile Mask because it comes with the talent Toxic Delivery. This is also a debuff, but unlike the Pestilence debuff, this one is affected by status effect attributes. And what's cool about Toxic Delivery is that it will last 10 seconds no matter what. It will never be shortened. And the total damage is going to be 50% of our concussion grenade. And before we get into the last 2 dots, I'm going to go over the loadout. For the chest piece, I'm going with the Sacrifice because it comes with Perfect Glass Cannon. And the reason why I went with the Perfect Glass Cannon is because the extra amplified damage is going to apply to all the dots. Plus, when we're actually shooting the Pestilence, it's going to boost the weapon damage as well. And then finally, I'm finishing off the loadout with 4 pieces of the Eclipse Protocol. Here's the holster, the knee pads, the gloves, and here is the backpack. And we are going to unlock the backpack's talent symptom aggravator, which is going to give us 30% amplified damage to all targets that are under a status effect. And this talent will only come online from status effects like a burn, bleed, or the riot foam. And the debuff Toxic Delivery or the debuff Plague of the Outcast will not actually trigger the amplified damage, but as long as there's another status effect on the enemy, the 30% amplified damage will boost the Toxic Delivery and the Plague of the Outcast damage. I know it's a little bit confusing. Just remember, status effects are going to be the burns, the bleeds, riot foams, the shocks, and when it comes to the Vile Mask and the Pestilence, both their talents, Plague of the Outcast and Toxic Delivery, are debuffs. As long as you pay attention to the wording, it's going to all make sense. And you can see that I have critical hit chance and status effect on everything. And the reason why I want that critical hit chance is because we are going to be running Sanitation Active Modifier. And for the Sanitation Active Modifier, you can see at 3 stacks, critical hits inflict burning on enemies. And Sanitation is going to be how we get our 3rd dot, the burns. And if you look at the very bottom, when you take out an enemy that is burning, it's going to add 3 seconds to the duration. And you could literally, depending depending on what mission you're playing or what open activities you're doing, you can get sanitation to last almost the whole mission. As long as you're moving fast and taking out enemies and setting them on fire, this thing can last a really long time, which is really awesome. And since we're here, let's talk about our fourth dot, which is going to be the bleeds. And we're going to have multiple sources to apply the bleed, where one of the ways is going to be Rupert's Tear. We also have Stabbed in Stone, which is going to give us a hollow points, which is going to apply bleed and give us 20% amplified damage. And if we're playing against Rikers, Mismanagement is also going to apply our bleed. And our primary way to apply our fourth dot to bleed is going to be from the Steiner Hive. And on top of applying bleed is also going to do a bunch of damage as well. And then for the other skill, I am running Riot Foam, but you are welcome to run whatever skill you like. You got the Jammer Pulse is a good one as well. Also the Sticky Burn or the Fire Starter will work as well. And if you're going my route when you're running all red cores, the Riot Foam is going to work better, I think. But if you want to do this loadout with all skill tiers, you can do that as well and rely more on your skills. And then that's when the Fire Starter or the Sticky Burn will be better to use, just because you're going to have the more charges for the Fire Starter and the cooldown is going to be a lot lower for the Sticky Burn if you have more skill tiers. But for this season, I personally found that running all red cores works out a lot better, and leaning into the damage from Pestilence, the Plague of the Outcast, alongside the Sanitation active modifier, you're going to be able to clear out mobs really fast and easy. Stat-wise, we're sitting at 34% critical hit chance. You want this to be semi-decent. I found that 34% chance is good enough. It's going to be 1 in 3 shots is going to trigger sanitation. And all you really need to do is just set one enemy on fire and take them out, and it's going to spread thanks to Eclipse Protocol. Alright, Dags, let me know what you guys think about this loadout, my 4-dot build. I've been running it for the last few seasons. I've been making build videos about this loadout as well for the last few seasons. And let me know if you had the itch to type out that the Pestilence isn't a status effect. Either way, if you made it this far, make sure to like the video, drop a comment below. And if you're not yet subscribed, you know what to do. It helps out the channel. That's all for now. Happy farming and go clap them cheeks.